Welcome to SBP, Weill Cornell's budget system. This video will show users how to use the allocation screens on the salary proposal form. Budgeting salaries is a key principle of successful budgeting. Understanding how the allocations work will make this process easier. To access the salary proposal form, go through the Weill Business Gateway and then into Folders or the App Finder. Click on the Budget Development folder, then the Salary Proposal form. You will then come to the Salary Proposal form entry screen. Enter the organization unit you want to work with, then click on Load Positions. To work with your allocations, you must first click on the Edit screen. Then toggle down to the person you want to work on. Then click the Base Salary Allocations button. You will then come to the Salary Allocation screen. Note the new annual salary is the salary that you want to total in your cash value. To add a fund, click on the Add button. Then in the Fund box, enter the fund number. Then hit Tab. And then enter the new annual salary. And then hit the Enter button. It's very important to hit the Enter button. This will then load the cash value. And when the cash value comes back, you can then click the Update Funding Percentages button, which will come back with 100%. If that's your expected result, you can hit the Save Allocations button. If this was the only allocation you were working on, you can click the Save button at the top of the salary proposal form. But we're going to show another example with two funds. You're going to need to click on the Add button. And this time we're going to use the Fund dialog box to find the fund. I can either put in a value or a description. Then click. And I can click on the accounting office, which is the fund I want to use. Since I'm splitting the salary, I need to allocate it between two funds. I'm going to do a rough split. Then click the Update Funding Percentages, and you can see how the salary will be allocated amongst those two funds. If this is what you wanted to see, hit Save. We're going to do one final example where with two funds, they're going to be running at different times during the fiscal year. The first fund will run until the end of December, and the second fund will run from January through June. So we need to change the end date to 12/31/2018. And then we need to put in the full salary in the funded salary amount, $64,180. Then hit Enter, and you'll see the updated cash value based upon the new end date. Now on the second fund, we need to start on January 1st. We can keep the end date the same. We need to change the funded amount. Then hit Enter, and that'll adjust the cash value. And then update funding percentages. And then hit Save. And you can see that's how the salary will be allocated. Then you can hit Save. The next part of the video will show users how to deal with grants and their funding. Departments will not be using SBP to budget their grants. However, it is important for departments to know how much salaries will be allocated in total to grants, so they know how much salary will be allocated to those funds we are budgeting in SBP. So let's look at another example. Let's open a base salary allocation screen and look at the funds. You will see that there's a GP fund and 4 grants. You can see the sponsored program WBSs. And then the start and end dates. You can see that the GP fund runs the full fiscal year, but the grants run for different periods of time. Now, to keep it straightforward, we get $60,000, or half the salary will be through the GP fund, and the remainder of the $60,000 is spread amongst the 4 grants, each for various lengths of time, and you can see that through the cash value and the allocation percentage. In our budget system training sessions, we discussed that it was not necessary to allocate your salaries across the individual sponsored programs. Instead, you could delete them and replace them with just one fund. To do that, you need to delete the individual sponsored programs and then add the fund that you want to allocate to. You can see me deleting the funds. And now I can go in and add a fund. I click the add button. I can then click the squares to bring down the dialog box. And in the dialog box, I can type NIH and hit enter. And it will bring up all the funds that have NIH in the description. I can click on NIH org research and then put in the funded amount, hit enter, and then update the funding percentage. Then click on the Save Allocations button. To finish this process, you need to hit the Save button twice. In this video, users learned more about the allocation screens with a focus on allocating grants. For more information on the SBP budget system, please contact the Weill Cornell Medicine Budget Office webpage. Thank you.